Welcome to the Public Opinion Court, where the truth ain't reality, but opinions are. The breaking news of another mega entertainment mogul, Tyler Perry, is being sued by a former actor for $260 million. So listen, this episode is to break down everything from the lawsuit to the allegations to what it looks like for Tyler. And then I'm going to let y'all be the judge, because y'all know at the Public Opinion Court where the truth ain't reality, but opinions are. And with my collaboration with the Real Life Street Star for the Public Opinion Court to break down and give you all the legal overview of what's going on, because y'all, it's hot in these streets. It's hot in these streets for lawsuits. Like, protect your bag, protect your messages. Don't send, don't receive, don't do nothing. Just pause. Pause. Now listen, as we are going through the breakdown, I am going to ask you all for engaging questions. So I need y'all to go ahead and like and subscribe. Make sure you are engaging in the comments. Make sure you are sharing, because people need to understand how to legally protect yourself and how to also legally seek justice for yourself. So go ahead and hit that like while you can, because once you get into this engagement, y'all not going to want to touch anything. So also, let's get this out the way. Make sure you are following my social media. My Instagram and fan base is Lawyer Bay ESQ. The title is on the screen, as well as the Public Opinion Court YouTube channel, and our TikTok has the same exact name, the Public Opinion Court. Make sure you are subscribing and following both pages, because we do have engagement and breaking news on there daily. And if you want to support your girl with a coffee, a piece of gum, I eat gum. I take gum. I'm just playing. But my Cash App is right there. If anyone wants to bless me, it's JUSTICBAE. That is my Cash App. And I am thankful for those who have sent your girl some Cash App, because I have gotten me some coffee. I sure have. And I really appreciate y'all, because y'all be looking out for me. And I'll be looking out for y'all. That's why I do this breakdown. That's why I do it for you. So let's go on and get into it. Now, what I have for you all today is I have the actual petition that was filed by Derek Dixon, the former actor who is accusing Tyler Perry of sexual harassment, SA. Oh, wait, what is he not accusing him of? For $260 million, he accused him a lot. So we got to get on into it, y'all, because I want y'all to be able to see this lawsuit, because I am about to read every freaking page for you, because you got to know. You got to know. Now, in the comments, tell me, what are your thoughts so far? Is this something you like, oh, we've been waiting on this to happen? This has been, a news story that has not broken just yet? Or are you like, this is a reach? This is another Black wealthy Black man that is having to experience another shakedown? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section. What do you all think? Because I'm going to give you my views at the end. So we're going to start with the summary of facts. And it starts with plaintiff Derek Dixon files his complaint against Tyler Perry, aka Emmett Perry. I didn't know that man name was Emmett. TPS Productions, which is his business, and Action LLC, alleging the following: The following complaint is pled on information and belief. The case arises from a sustained pattern of workplace harassment, assault, and retaliation perpetrated by Tyler Perry, a powerful media mogul, against plaintiff Derek Dixon, a professional actor and screenwriter. Mr. Perry is an American filmmaker and playwright who has built one of the most successful careers in the film and television industry. Mr. Perry took his success and power and used his considerable influence in the entertainment industry to create a coercive, sexual, exploitive dynamic with Mr. Dixon, initially promising him a career advancement and creative opportunities such as producing his pilot and casting him in his own show, only to subject him to escalating sexual harassment, assault and battery, and professional retaliation when Mr. Dixon did not reciprocate Mr. Perry's unwanted advances. The events occurred while Mr. Dixon was employed as a series regular on The Oval, one of Tyler Perry's shows, and while Mr. Perry held direct control over his employment, compensation, and creative opportunities. Tyler Perry rose against all odds. They tugging at your emotional strings. He rose against all odds to become one of the most powerful figures in the entertainment industry. His success story, once a symbol of perseverance and self-made achievement, has now become a cautionary tale of how unchecked power, wealth, and influence can corrupt those who attain it. That's a read. That's a read. That's a read. Ooh, I had on some pearls, baby. Ooh, I had. Okay, let me get back to it. Among other contracts, Perry received a lucrative multi-year partnership with the Oprah Winfrey Network, and his network tops $1.36 billion. Tyler Perry rise to fame and fortune, elevating him from a powerless victim to a figure of tremendous wealth, influence, and power, accumulating into ownership of his own film studios. Rather than using his influence responsibly, Tyler has engaged in a pattern of misconduct where he exploited his position of power. Tyler Perry has been using his power and influence to molest. Damn. I thought this said mold. It's go hand in hand. Molest, abuse, and sexually assault, impersonable and vulnerable employees and actors who look to him for guidance and mentorship while pursuing their dreams. Just like Harvey Weinstein. Why did they put this man in here? Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, and Sean P. Diddy Combs, Kevin Spacey, Roger Ailes, and many more others in this industry. Mr. Perry's success has led him to believe that money and influence can get him whatever he wants. The belief slowly transformed into a false idea that Mr. Perry can get whomever he wants. There are things in life that money cannot buy. Mr. Perry sought the one thing his wealth and influence could not purchase: a sexual relationship with a man who would remain silent. Perry told Mr. Dixon that his ideal relationship would involve a male sexual partner who he could provide for, who would be loyal but emotionally detached. That is fucking toxic. That's what y'all men do to us. Now y'all doing it to the men? Golly. Perry told Dixon, whoever ends up with me is going to be a happy motherfucker. I told y'all about them wealthy men. Stay away. Stay away. In essence, Mr. Perry desired a one-sided, coercive dynamic with a subordinate, an arrangement devoid of mutual consent or emotional reciprocity. Oh, wait, I'm just reading and I ain't even switched the slide free. Thus began Perry's calculated pursuit of Mr. Dixon. This was not Mr. Perry's first instance of sexual exploitation. He has demonstrated a troubling pattern of exploiting vulnerable male actors and employees, leveraging his industry experience, power to create a cycle of hope and dependency. First, he offers aspiring actors the prospect of career-defining opportunities, roles that promise visibility and advancement. Then, once they are in his professional orbit, he uses the weight of his influence to ensnare them, positioning their success as contingent on meeting his demands in a quid pro quo sexual compromise. Very one-sided. The pattern of behavior reveals a calculated use of professional power of sexual leverage. Using his influence, Mr. Perry provided vulnerable men with acting positions, roles, shows, contracts, cars, and money. Once the objective of his desires was hooked, Tyler Perry would then put them in fear of losing it all unless they engaged in Mr. Perry's perverted desire for sexual gratification. Mr. Perry would easily kill off a character in a show of an actor who failed to indulge Perry's sexual fantasies. In one such exchange, Perry stated that he could fix things because the actors of the show he was filming should all be scared because they were all shot at and we don't know who lives. Meaning that Tyler Perry was going to use this as a tool to gain compliance with his desires. Derek Dixon was one of Mr. Perry's sexual desires ever since they became acquainted. Dixon was working as part of the event staff for a party hosted by Perry. When Perry noticed him, Perry immediately offered Dixon the chance to audition for a part in one of his TV productions. Dixon agreed and was on set with Perry behind the cameras for weeks in close quarters. During that time they were filming, Perry would send flirtatious text messages to Dixon. For example, in one message, Perry stated that he was jealous when he saw Dixon going on a walk with another man named Brad. So in the text message above, it says, "But I swear to you, I know how to fix this shit. I love killing a motherfucker in a show that that no one expects. You could be sipping Mai Tais counting coconuts right now." That's what he is sending back. Think about the last episode. They are all shot at. We don't know who lives. Exactly. I'm scared. They should be too. No, they're not. Last I checked, we all got the same bullet in us. That is what Dixon is in the blue. Second text message, exhibit. "Why did the photo make me jealous? You two together. Haha, I don't know. It's just Brad, LOL. LOL. He just wanted to go for a quick walk to get his steps in, and now I'm walking to Chipotle by myself, LOL. Thick Derek. Get that Chipotle." Okay, that's gonna be a long one, y'all. It's gonna be a long one. I see it now. In another text message, Perry stated to Dixon, what's it going to take for you to have guiltless sex? Have y'all found that yet in therapy? You can have freedom from religion, guilt, and still believe in Christ. Plaintiff carefully navigated a friendly demeanor to prevent the loss of income and opportunity on one hand, and on the other, a firm boundary against Perry's advances. Often when Mr. Perry started drinking, he would demand more attention from the plaintiff and get more aggressive with his flirting. Oh. What? Unfortunately, Derek, I have friends who are in their 50s and 60s who are still dealing with that, and it's so sad. You can have freedom from religion, guilt, and still believe in Christ. On the next text thread, treat myself right. What are you doing, Derek? Derek, just talking to my sister. I roll. Fine. Good night. I'll go through 600 people in my phone book and be annoyed that I don't want to talk to any of them. Trying to get off so I can go to sleep. LOL. I understand. LOL. LOL. Apparently, you're not the only one that's been drinking tonight. I just started. They don't. LOL. I don't know what the fuck that means. Dixon did his best to tiptoe around Mr. Perry's sexual aggression while keeping on Mr. Perry's good side. Mr. Perry made it clear to Mr. Dixon if Dixon ignored Perry or failed to engage with sexual mundos, Dixon's character would die in the next season. That's fucked up if that's true. Indeed, Dixon's character, Dale, was shot 4 times in the chest at the end of the first season on the Oval, and Perry always held that over Dixon's head, implying that Dale would survive if Dixon kept Perry happy. That is a HR no. Once Perry recognized the extent of control he had over Mr. Dixon, he escalated his behavior. On multiple occasions, Mr. Perry sexually assaulted Mr. Perry, including one instance where he forcefully pulled off Mr. Dixon's clothes, groped his buttocks, and attempted to force himself on Mr. Dixon. Mr. Dixon told a drunken Perry no and attempted to remove Mr. Perry's hands, but Mr. Perry held tightly on to Dixon's wrist. Mr. Dixon was only able to escape after de-escalating the situation by abruptly changing the subject. That's wild. That's wild. The day after the assault, Mr. Perry called and texted Mr. Dixon relentlessly, saying, tried you, call me. I really need to talk to you. Please call as soon as you can. Finally, when Mr. Dixon answered Tyler Perry call, Mr. Perry profusely apologized for the sexual assault while blaming it on other things. Perry continued, he didn't know why he would do that. Maybe he was self-sabotaging. On the very same call where he apologized for sexual assault against Dixon, Perry told Dixon, and don't worry, we're going to do your show, referring to the pilot that Perry knew Dixon had desperately wanted to produce. Shortly thereafter, Mr. Dixon got a call from Perry's lawyer saying that Christmas had come early and that Dixon was getting a substantial raise and the show was greenlit. Do y'all not know how hard it is to greenlit a show? It is extremely hard. I have been pitching a show that I developed and created since 2023. We're in 2025 now. Granted, one of y'all faves tried to steal it, but it was protected. But it's extremely hard to greenlit a show. And the fact that if he has the receipts to back this up, That's very damaging. Whew. Perry's attorney explicitly warned Dixon not to tell any other actor on the show about Dixon's raise because no other actor were getting raises, only Dixon. Perry kept telling Dixon that he was sorry and that the harassment would not happen again. However, the harassment and assault continued. Mr. Perry also tried to deflect the blame for the sexual assault by saying that Dixon didn't have a strong enough no. Whew. Perry told Dixon, you have to be able to say no to propositions for sex and mean it and make it clear. That's not the standard. That's not the legal standard. No means no. No means move away from me with that. Dixon did not know how to answer without facing retaliation, cancellation of his production contract, or perhaps being killed off of the show. So instead, Dixon made a joke out of the situation, stating, I'll only say yes if it gets me an Oscar. That's not an excuse. Sorry, Dixon. That is not an excuse. No. In response, Tyler Perry stated the only one who could have gotten the Oscar for you through sex is in prison. So just he talking about Harry. Oh, wow. So just stick to the no unless you are really into him. Okay. Oh, fucking wow. Like, this is insane. Okay, let me keep going. Perry reveals through these text messages that the no he was referring to was Dixon's no to sex exchange for promotion in the industry, classically known as quid pro quo sexual harassment. Perry sent this text message to Dixon because that is exactly what Tyler Perry was doing. At some point, Dixon left Atlanta and moved to Santa Monica to create distance between Tyler Perry. However, even at long distance, Mr. Perry continued to sexually harass Mr. Dixon. The factual allegations, we are on page 10. The factual allegations in or around September 2019, plaintiff worked for an event of the legendary events one of the legendary events in Atlanta that was hired to organize defendant's Perry Studios opening party. This is y'all remember this? When he first opened Perry Studios, Perry was recruited by Tony Conway, the owner of Legendary Events and close friend of Tyler Perry. Mr. Conway decided to place Dixon directly in a role at the party that required frequent conversations with Tyler Perry. That's strange. Defendant Perry picked plaintiff out of a crowd of employees present at the party and began asking plaintiff questions about his employment status and whether plaintiff was an actor. In or around early October and on the last day of the party, defendant Perry insisted that he and plaintiff exchange phone numbers, and Perry subsequently texted plaintiff to introduce himself. Perry began by asking Dixon about his dream aspiration. Of course, you want to know that. Dixon told Perry that he was interested in acting and writing. Perry then told Dixon to do an audition over the phone and send it to Perry. Dixon told Perry he was at a Halloween party. Perry asked to see pictures of Dixon in costume, and Dixon, why would you send? When Perry saw the pictures, he texted, I was going to say, your cowboy needs a sugar daddy. Your cowboy needs a sugar daddy.
Shut up. That is so stupid.
Really? Perry continued, you look great. You're just lacking costume parts. Sorry, don't want to offend. Dixon responded, not at all. It's so true. Half-ass costume. To which Perry replied, what's true? Cowboy needs a sugar daddy, implying that Perry wanted to be Dixon's sugar daddy. Dixon quickly shut down the comments by reiterating that he said what he said earlier, that the truth was that he was lacking costume parts. Shortly thereafter, Dixon's boss at the legendary events called Dixon and told him that Tyler Perry was having another event in Los Angeles, and specifically wanted Mr. Dixon to fly from Atlanta to LA to work on the event. Excited for the opportunity to fly to LA, Dixon was flattered and jumped on the opportunity to meet Tyler Perry again. Shortly after doing the event on November 3rd, 2019, defendant Perry sent plaintiff several text messages that he would love to find plaintiff a job and change plaintiff's life.
All this stuff.
Hold on, let Candy talk.
Your ass is on tape saying it.
Insisting that they should make it happen. Perry sent Dixon what turned out to be a warning. Be careful hanging around me. I cause dreamers to dream big. I cause them to not only believe, but do. Then let's make it happen. You're an artist. You have to be fulfilled. Nothing else will suffice. The very next day, defendant Perry sent an email which contained an offer for plaintiff to play the role of Dale in Perry's television series, Ruthless. Perry said it was a small role that could get a lot bigger, thereby setting up the stage in a series escalating quid pro quo offers. At this point, Dixon did not know that Perry was interested in men or that he was looking for a sexual relationship. Tyler Perry was looking to get some pussy. Tyler Perry was looking to get some bussy. That is a bussy couch crawl. He is looking to get behind thee. Behind thee. That's crazy. Dixon assumed that Tyler was genuinely a caring person who discovered the talent of Dixon that Dixon always felt he had. Dixon filmed his role in Ruthless in mid-November, went back to his job as an event staff of legendary events. Approximately 1 month later, Perry brought and gave Dixon a new car. A new car. What was the reason? What was the reason, Tyler Perry? What was the reason?
Come on, man.
What was the reason, Tyler? Why? Okay, that ain't my business or my ministry, but I'm just here to read the lawsuit for y'all. He was surprised and elated. Dixon had no idea that he was being set up by Perry for extreme dependence. Get thee behind me. In December of 2019, Dixon was requested to be a part of an event staff at another event at Perry's home in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. After the event, Perry started frequently sending text messages, making phone calls, and demanding that Dixon give Perry some attention. On New Year's Eve 2019, Tyler Perry texted Dixon, "I can't tell you the last time I pumped gas, Daddy. I can't tell you the last time I pumped some gas, Daddy. Or went to the supermarket, or flew commercial, or packed a bag, or had good sis." What kind of sex? Was it the bussy or the... It was before I was rich. Dixon found those text messages to be strange and, I found them strange too, Dixon. Coming from someone like Tyler Perry, but being new to the industry, Dixon played along by downplaying sexual comments and hoping that being around Perry would allow him to showcase his talents as an actor and a writer. Soon after Dixon began giving Perry more attention, Perry made his move on Dixon in January of 2020, before the pandemic hit, y'all. Before the pandemic hit, like, damn. Just a few months after his first gig, Perry invited plaintiff to his home in Georgia. Plaintiff showed up to the home hoping that he would be given a chance to befriend Perry and show him how talented of an actor Dixon was. At Perry's home, Dixon was served many alcoholic beverages, which Perry also partook in, because you got to get that palate wet. You got to get it wet. You got to get it lubricated. You got to get it ready for what? Non-consent. Perry made no sexual advances at Dixon while they were drinking, and the conversation was friendly. At the end of the night, Perry told Dixon not to drive home. Perry said it was dangerous and that Dixon was too inebriated to drive home. I wonder how you know. But y'all was over there drinking that Don Julio, Actor Fulio. Bitch, don't call my... That's how you do him? Trying to get that man in that bed? Dixon agreed and was escorted to a separate guest room, not knowing that this was a ruse to allow Perry to assault Dixon. Dixon was tired and did not have pajamas. Ooh, you was over there dig out? Digging balls out. And so he got into the bed only wearing underwear. Were they clean? Because if you ain't, I hope he washed his ass. At least wash your ass. Before he knew what was happening, Dixon felt someone else slip into the bed behind him and start rubbing Dixon's body around his inner thighs and in a highly sexual and suggestive manner. Dixon turned around and saw that Tyler Perry was in bed with him. At this point, Dixon's stomach started to turn and began feeling nauseous. Dixon jumped out of the bed and told Tyler Perry that he wasn't that sexual. Tyler Perry ignored the comments and told Dixon to turn around so Perry could see him naked in his underwear. Yeah, Daddy. Perry then commented on how beautiful Dixon's body was. Dixon once told Perry that he was not into sex. Dixon kept informing Perry that he was not into sex in order to keep Perry at bay, while at the same time not insinuating that the person who was dangling not insulting the person who was dangling his career. Dixon once again told Perry that he was not into sex. I don't know how many times you got to tell him before you need to leave and never come back. Fuck that movie. In response to Dixon's frequent assertions that Dixon was not into sex, Perry started prying further. Perry would send Dixon a text message saying, "I would hope that you would let someone hold you and make sweet love to you, Dixon." He didn't say that part. "You are missing the best years of your life, my friend. Trust me, I hope you get past that block in your mind." Perry was implying that Dixon would hopefully get past that block in his mind, and that would let Tyler make love to him. After the assault in January, Dixon felt betrayed. Perry continued to call and text him every day, asking to talk to him more. He ignored Perry, which led Perry to text back, "Derek, why don't you text me more? That car is coming back to me." He didn't say that part. "That car coming back, Dixon. You better text that man. That car is coming back. You're going to be on your left and your right." The more Dixon ignored Perry, the more aggressive he became, until finally Perry offered him a part on a new show called The Oval. That is definitely not okay. He was intrigued and was hoping that this would be his big break, and that he was looking for a chance for him to display his acting talents. On February 11, 2020, Perry told him to quit his job at legendary events and come work exclusively for Perry. Now, how you gonna take your homeboy? How you gonna take your friend worker from them, unless y'all was in cahoots? Unless they know how you get on down. Perry was not able to control him so long as he had a secondary income that was providing for his basic needs. That's what artistry is. You do a little to maintain so that you can go out and do what you love. Once he quit his job due to his role on the Oval, Perry started getting more and more personal with him, knowing that he now had him under control. Why did you let him put you under control? Why? You knew that man wanted your... Perry would often say things like, I give and no one ever does anything for me. No one ever does anything for me. Me. That's a bait and switch. Perry started asking Dixon his sexual preferences and what role did he take. What role would he take on when engaging in sexual acts, whether he was a top or a bottom? Top or a bottom. I don't know what top or a bottom mean. I don't know what either one of them mean, and I don't want the visual view of it. I respect whatever position you are in. I don't even know would I be considered a top or a bottom if as a female with my male, would I be considered a top or a bottom? Because never mind. Perry indicated that he was that. Ooh. Perry indicated that to Dixon that he had sex with men before and he was a top. He went on to say that when you have a big dick, And when you hit that G spot right on these bottoms, they go crazy. They go crazy. They go bananas. Damn. It's getting sticky. It's getting sticky. Y'all know that's Tyler, the Creator song. Ain't that very fitting? It's getting sticky. And this is getting sticky. Despite these comments, he knew that a full-throated, no, that ain't throated. That's throated refusal. No, a full-throated refusal. I was like, why would they be talking about throat and refuse? I get it now. I get it. A full-throated refusal would land him in the doghouse and might result in his role being cut on the Oval. Fearing that his career would end before it began, Dixon put up with the comments and continued to maintain that he was not the sexual type. On or around March 2020, he received the script for the Oval. He was written into a season as a season regular and was therefore expected to quit his job with legendary events. His character was written. Now, mind you this. The character that he had to play was a gay, homeless, and desperate store clerk who had to sleep with one of the other characters to have a place to stay.
Nah, dog. Come on, man.
Really, Tyler? Really? You really got that man out here on a character for your freaky fetish? You really wrote the character of what you envisioned this man to be? Oh, this is insanity. Oh, this ain't even right. This ain't even right. Oh. More importantly, at the end of the season, his character would be shot 4 times in the chest. That was power and control. We talked about that in a ditty. Power and control. He felt that this was a way that Perry to test him and test him out for the year if he would be loyal. When he asked Perry about the shooting, he indicated if he did a good job, he would be back. Point blank, and the period. If you do good, what that mouth do, Dixon? What that mouth do? That's the only good he trying to see, Dixon. What that mouth do? He immediately understood that his job security depended on his relationship with Perry. From this point, he worked with the constant fear of losing his job and did not want to engage with and endure Perry's sexual harassment. Shortly after giving him this news and after telling him the future seasons were dependent on him doing a good job, Tyler Perry invited him to his Atlanta home. Shortly after giving him, plaintiff asked questions and tried to wiggle his way around the invitation because he remembered what happened the last time the two were alone. However, plaintiff knew that his job security, income, and livelihood depended on his attendance. Plaintiff had seen other employees of Perry who had experienced sudden deaths on the show when they fell on Perry's bad side. In fact, Perry had made it clear to Dixon that he would often kill characters in order to get an actor to be loyal or obedient. You got some receipts for that, Tyler? If you got some receipts for that, you got some receipts. You got some receipts for that? Because I'm going to tell you, if you ain't got no receipts, that's what they going to say. They going to hit you with the Carly.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
You got some receipts for that? Because we want to see the receipts. We want to see the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in the receipts. Okay? Okay, back to your story. When he arrived, Tyler gave him a warm welcome and was very friendly. Soon after, Tyler started asking Dixon a slew of sexually charged questions, even asking him if he liked it rough in the bed. HR, no. Perry, well, hold on. If this after work hours, maybe because it's after work hours. Maybe because it's after work hours. That's going to be interesting. Perry then physically reached out and violently grabbed his throat, attempting to physically choke him and remark, "Wow, look how excited you just got. You do like that." He was horrified, shocked, and in panic. He never thought that Tyler Perry could get so violent and would place his hands on his throat in a sexually aggressive manner. He did not enjoy or consent to any of that conduct. He was shocked and took steps to immediately de-escalate the situation. Due to the onset of COVID-19, March 2020, filming of the Oval was postponed indefinitely. During this period in which filming of the Oval was postponed, Tyler would make FaceTime calls and other contacts to Dixon almost every day, treating Dixon like an on-call pet. He felt obligated to answer out of fear of losing his role, income, and career. Perry often asked about Dixon's whereabouts, often demanding that he respond immediately. When he didn't, Perry would send text messages stating, "Derek, grrr." I ain't gonna hold you. What are you doing? Additionally, Perry was jealous of anyone who he had a relationship with. Tyler Perry told him if COVID-19 from his roommate, if he got COVID-19 from his roommate at that time, he would not be able to shoot the Oval. Perry encouraged Dixon to move into one of the on-set studio houses owned by Perry, where Perry would have more control over his whereabouts. Perry would text plaintiff about other actors on the show Ruthless. Perry told Dixon how he manipulated employees through ruthless retaliation. Perry told Dixon that if he did not like the way an actor behaved, that character would simply die in season 2. He understood that Perry was informing him to be cautious about disappointing or upsetting him. As a result, he continued to put up with Perry's suggestive messages, sexual advances, while doing his best to protect himself by taking notes and amassing evidence of the sexual harassment and keeping old text messages. Oh. Ooh. So y'all do, let me state this. You do not have to put all of your evidence. Like these little exhibits, this is just a teaser of Nuck If You Buck. This is a teaser to Nuck If You Buck. Perry upped the stakes by, he upped the stakes by telling Dixon point blank that he was not to tell anyone about their friendship. Perry told Dixon that It should all remain a secret, and try to make it seem like the secret was for his benefit. Perry continued to sexually harass him. On June 27, 2020, Perry sent the message that all he wanted for his birthday was biscuits and BJs. Referring to blowjobs and oral sex, but that's all Perry ever received were biscuits, insinuating that of oral sex from Dixon. The text was followed by other messages calling him cute, cutie, and Perry was just thinking about him. Despite these advances, he continued to act professionally and continued to tell Perry he was not sexual. That seemed to be the only way of keeping Perry at bay while keeping his job. In July 2020, Perry remarked about how much he loved the script for Dixon's television series called Losing It, and exclaimed that he wanted to shoot the pilot for it. Perry would never really work towards that goal, and what Perry was really doing was making him more dependent on Perry so that Perry could later extract sexual favors from Dixon as a quid pro to produce the pilot. In around August 2020, while with his castmates, they began shooting for the Oval after delays due to COVID-19, during which time all castmates and crew lived on the studio set in quarantine bubbles. Shortly after, Perry confided in him that two cast members were pissing him off, and Perry swore that he knew how to fix this shit. Perry added that he loves killing a motherfucker in a show that no one expects, that he was going to shoot them all, but they all got shot. I don't know. Whatever. But he said he was going to kill them motherfuckers, y'all. Referring to killing the characters in the Oval played by actors who Perry wanted to retaliate against. That's crazy. That's crazy and diabolical. So that the actors would be more submissive to Perry. Perry intentionally made these comments to instill fear in Dixon. Mr. Dixon now knew that he too would lose his job if Dixon did not play ball. If he ain't play with them balls, he ain't play with them balls. He ain't play with them balls. With his harassment. That's what Perry had been setting up. He now fully was relying on Perry for income, which is a no-no. He was fully reliable of him on income, hope, and future aspirations. Perry made it clear that he was not to disclose their relationship to any cast members, and he was aware that Tyler would kill him off the show for good, thereby ending his career if he got on Perry's bad side. Severe, persuasive tirade of sexual commentary, including but not limited to that he liked being choked, which was following him being choked by a cast member in one of the scenes of the Oval. That's crazy. Why do you twist your hips when you walk? How can I get a day of you? When will you be thick again? I love how I feel right now, but I don't like being horny. I feel so sorry for the person who flirts with me. I've been trying to put that energy somewhere else, but everything is sexual on this stuff. That snake across the table make me think of you. Nicki Minaj Anaconda. I would gladly choke you right now. A suggestion that Dixon should get braces behind his teeth, but plaintiff would have to give up BJ's and that it could be dangerous. What? Yo, what in the entire hell is going on? That's when you were thick Derek, fun Derek, drunk Derek, before COVID Derek. That's a bar Derek. I miss him just without a butt. What the hell? What the helly? What the helly, Perry? Thick Derek would have worked them pants out. Yes, Derek. Perry also photographed his buttocks while on set and sending a picture to him. Oh, what did that photo make? Why did that photo make you? Oh, that's the same one. Oh, this is when he says, get that Chipotle. Haha, you can tell from the photo. No, I can't. Only from the jeans. Haha, that's how I measure too. If I'm not filling them out, I'm not working hard enough. Right? Some of these text messages, I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I'm looking at Derek like, you are a proponent to this. Like, you're not innocent. You're not innocent. The series of comments and unwanted sexual references made him highly uncomfortable. It didn't make you that uncomfortable, you stayed. He was caught in a bind. He could not complain to anyone in HR. You definitely could not. He had nowhere to turn for relief from the sexual harassment, and he knew that if he did not endure it, he would be killed off. You're right. He was unsure whether to joke back or rebuff Perry's sexual harassment, so he endured it knowing that his job was on the line. He reiterated the same way he did on the first assault by skirting the question. He told Perry he wasn't sexual or looking for anything. Perry's probing did not stop. Perry continued to talk about how good looking and sexy he was and that plaintiff was wasting his looks by not being free and having sex. He repeatedly deflected these comments and constantly looking for ways to avoid Perry's sexual interrogations while continuing to worry about his future on the Oval. Mr. Perry was testing how far he could go with Dixon, and after enduring their harassment during his best to dodge the situation, Dixon got up and the two exchanged goodbyes. I think that's the he didn't want that kind of goodbye. He pinned him up against the wall. He became aggressively groping his buttocks in a sexual motion. Perry began reaching down towards his buttocks and groped his butt in a strong sexual manner, and that it could not have been a mere accident. He stood frozen in horror and could not reciprocate or fight back. All he wanted or could do was let his body go cold and limp, seeing that he had no desire in Perry. Perry told him that he was drunk and asked him to leave the trailer. Ooh, damn. As he left following the violent assault, he became severely nauseous and extremely anxious about his job, career, and livelihood. He felt trapped within the confines of the studio's quarantine bubble. There was still another shoot the next day. He called his friend Justin Bryant on the phone and told him everything that happened and was unaware of any human resource representative to whom he could report the assault. So you were willing to endure so long as you had confirmation of your position. Let me keep. I'm gonna have to start reading it like this because I'm looking at it like this. I don't know, y'all. The next day, Perry acted like nothing happened and did not even offer an apology. Following the exchange, he began to avoid Perry as much as possible. However, he still felt the need to answer his Perry's text messages. So he changed his approach. He often pretended to be asleep to avoid being harassed. However, Perry persisted by texting him the following: "Are you awake? Stop ignoring me. Are you awake? Derek, wake up. I know you're not sleeping. Give me attention." Oh, that is the worst. Like, I dealt with this wealthy man, y'all. It was the worst. Like, In and around October 2020, Perry invited him and another actor to the Oval on a cash trip to Perry's personal island in Bahamas. He knew, as did everyone else, that that declining going on the trip could cause Perry to erase you from the show. So they agreed, knowing that the whole cast was going to be there. One night, while in Perry's private island in Bahamas, this could be federal. This could be federal. Oh, whoa. 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 Perry made an alcoholic beverage, forced him to drink with him. He knew that he could not refuse to drink, otherwise he would risk upsetting Mr. Perry. Instead, he tried to stay in control. He stayed in control and sipped drink slowly. Tyler did not control himself. He drank until it was clear that the alcohol made him bold and sexually aggressive. Perry told Dixon that he wanted a relationship with someone who could be emotionally and sexually available to him, but would also be permissive of Perry having his own relationship with someone else. Perry said that he could see himself having a type of relationship with him. Perry insisted that he needed to be with someone rich because he liked nice things. Perry told him that he was watching all the cast as they laid out in the sun with tanning oil. Perry continued raving about how seeing him greased up like that was driving him crazy. Perry said he would have burnt the whole island down if one of the other actors or anyone else from the group had touched him that night. Oh. From that moment on, Perry became extremely frustrated and possessive. Perry wanted, hold on. He groped his buttocks once again. He once again did not reciprocate and froze up. Perry got the message and told him to go to bed. He was terrified, so he barely slept. In one exchange, Perry sent pictures of himself on, Perry. Okay, let me get to the. Oh, he tried to. In December, he began feeling depleted due to Perry's Continued pattern of sexual harassment, the assault of harassment began manifesting in his physical health. Mr. Dixon had no one to turn to. He visited a physician who indicated that he exhibited severe or acute stress, insomnia, stomach issues, and dangerously low cortisol levels due to sexual harassment and assault. He was prescribed antidepressants. So the sexual harassment continued in the early parts of 2021. During the visit, Perry made several alcoholic beverages for himself and demanded to know why he was not having sex with anyone. Perry probed further about his sex life, insinuating that the two were becoming increasingly drunk and it was time to end the night. Perry then led him to the guest house where the guest bedroom was, and he was saying that he was staying there that night. Inside the guest bedroom, Perry mentioned he could come see a weight monitor that he had. Perry told him that in order for the monitor to work, he would need to step on the monitor wearing only underwear and push him to try it. He tried to avoid the uncomfortable situation, but decided it was better to comply. After weighing himself, he walked around the guest bedroom, followed by Perry, who then asked him for a goodnight hug. Rather than arguing, he decided to comply. Perry reached out and yanked his underwear down from behind. He vigorously groped, and played with his buttocks in a sexual manner. He was naked, stunned, seized by tremendous fear. He started to tell Perry that he did not want his underwear down and did not want to be naked and did not want this. Remember, he said he got to tell a real no. He quickly reached and pulled the underwear back up. As soon as he did, Perry grabbed him, reaching arm with tight grip held fast. Tyler told him, "Relax and just let this happen. I'm not going to hurt you." His anxiety rapidly escalated, thinking that he might soon be raped. He was not sure what to do, and his breath shortened. Perry ignored his refusal and held Dixon hand fast, preventing him from reaching for his underwear. He was naked, being groped by a large, drunk, sexually frustrated 6'5" man who had him in his clutches. Oh, damn. He changed the conversation by asking for food, and they went into the main home to get some pizza. The next day, Perry, of course, rubbed it off as if that's why we shouldn't drink that much. I drank too much, attempting to excuse himself for grabbing and attempting to have sex with him. Then he began to blame it on on his man levels. Y'all. Perry had invited him on a yacht trip. He kept dangling this man's project. When he refused to go on the yacht, sensing that he was upset, Perry called him once to update him that Perry was looking for a director for the pilot. Lies. During the 5-month period, he was regularly in therapy. He suffered from severe depression, anxiety, stomach pains, prescriptions, and other antidepressants. He was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, and his therapist recommended that he seek outpatient treatment, costing upwards of $20,000. During that time, Perry realized that Dixon was done talking to him. He got a message from Perry's fixers. Fixers! Rico! 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 I'm just playing, y'all. The fixer told him that his character would be returning for the next season and was receiving a graduate raise of $10,000 per episode to $16,000 per episode that would continue to increase upwards of $19,000 per episode. That's a lot. Christmas was coming early. However, he was forbidden from telling his castmates about the raise. Lastly, he was told Perry wanted to buy the rights to produce Losing It and planned to spend up to $1 million producing the pilot. He immediately knew why he was getting this raise and why the pilot was being produced. He knew he could keep the money and the job or complain about sexual harassment, but not both. Hold on. Soon after this, he received a call from members of Perry's production team telling him that they were considering shooting the pilot coming fall 2021. He was desperate for this good news, given the uncertainty surrounding his finances and concern of his future. Around March 4, 2022, I think that put the wrong date. It should have been fall 2022. He signed the literary purchase agreement for the pilot, giving the rights of the series. Ooh! Oh, wow. Wait. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Telling him that the show would net $2 to $3 million per episode and run for 2 seasons. They were going to hit some of TPS's pre-existing television contracts. Perry purchased the rights of Losing It from Dixon, but did not try to sell it to any network. In fact, Perry was under contract with Viacom, preventing him from selling his show for any additional 2 years following the purchase. In other words, Perry spent money shooting a pilot for a show, then purchasing the rights to it, knowing that Perry could not sell the show for 2 years. Clearly, this was done for an ulterior motive of silencing Mr. Dixon. On or around April 9th, 2022, to his surprise, plaintiff retrieved the script for another season of The Oval. He was written as a grocery store clerk and would play a male prostitute being pursued by a pimp. Oh my God. As he continued to read through the script, he started to notice Perry included lines taken directly from what they had spoken about. He started to make it real life and personal. October 2023, Perry finally called Dixon and told him that he was done. And I'm going ahead a little bit because it's a lot of fluff that is really not necessary, so long as we stick to the facts. He called him and said that he was going to be done with Paramount contract in January 2024 and was able to start working on selling Losing It, which would have been easy for him to do. Ooh! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my freaking God! Oh my freaking God! Oh God!
And some of the people that you think are your mentors are literally and figuratively just trying to fuck you.
In December 2023, Christian Keys, another actor who worked for Perry prior to his employment, posted a video on social media platforms detailing his abusive experience with an anonymous Black Hollywood billionaire. When he pieced it together, he believed it was Perry. When he heard Mr. Keys' accounts and saw Perry had been engaging in the same sexual conduct as other actors, that was described by Keys, Perry would get drunk, climb in a bed, start fondling. Oh my God. Oh my God. Y'all can read the rest of it. I'm getting to the juicy part. In January 2024, Perry told Dixon to begin working on the pitch deck for investors for the pilot. Despite having 8 episodes written, Perry only produced 1, claiming that the president of the company, Michelle Sneed, conveniently misplaced $1 million that were going to be used for the show. During this time, Perry further solicited his assistance with other film projects that Tyler Perry was working on. Once again, he was in position where he could not say no. In and around March 2024, Tyler Perry indicated that Derek Dixon, the individual who was meant to pitch the pilot, became depressed. Another excuse. He tried to sell it to Netflix. He said Netflix wasn't interested. It was then that he woke up and realized Perry was never going to be serious about helping him. Rather than continue down the path, he reported the sexual harassment to the EOC. Because defendants took no action to prevent further assaults, he had to quit his job working on the last season. Under contract to finish filming and stood to make close to $400K, he did not want to be sexually harassed, so he left. Defendant then retaliated. He told him if he quit his job and told other actors why he quit, he would be in breach of contract. Told him the only way he could leave is through FMLA. Y'all. This is on a break. I got everything. Like, y'all, I'm not playing. I fucking knew it. I said this years ago.
Documentation from the dealership for the car that
I am going to release part 1
an apology for
on Juneteenth, which is on the 19th.
Offering me
Because
$100
a lot of y'all gonna be at home.
It's time. I really want to.
Then I'm going to release part 2.
It's clearly there because I'm tired. And then where I'm at now, if it still feels like that person
Tomorrow
is fucking
too.
with you, just to fuck with you, just to
We
mess with you.
gonna wrap this thing
Industry
up in a bow. I
can be
knew.
I'm grateful. Be clear that this person showed me how not to be.
Listen, we're gonna get into it. We are going to get into it. Listen, y'all. I know that was a little like, but listen, I ain't gonna hold you. Let's get into the breakdown because we went over the complete lawsuit, but we got to go over the causes of action. What causes of action has Derek sued Tyler Perry for? So hold on, let me bring it to the stage. So Tyler Perry had, of course, we know he's been sued for $260 million by his former actor on The Oval. Now, the overall lawsuit, and y'all know I like to give y'all a visual because people are so visual now. And with my ADHD, I can't be remembering everything and I be wanting to give y'all everything, but my brain don't be giving me everything. So I have to write it down so I can give y'all everything. Yeah, like that. See how the ADHD came in and kind of attacked me a little bit? So the overall lawsuit, the overall view of the lawsuit. Derek, who is the plaintiff and the former actor of The Oval. We also know that Derek said that Tyler was bought some script from him to put into the ecosystem of the entertainment business. The defendant, of course, is Tyler Perry. It was filed on June 13th. Thank God it was filed before June 19th. Our ancestors would not be happy right now. So I'm glad it was filed before June 19th. The claim is for $260 million for sexual harassment, assault, workplace retaliation. Perry allegedly promised roles, raises, and creative deals in exchange for sexual compliance. The allegations that he assaulted Dixon multiple times from 2019 up until 2021. Did I read something different in that lawsuit? I don't know. I read something different I read it was up until 2023. He retaliated and he was retaliated when he resisted Perry. That's the overview of the allegations. So Tyler Perry Studios, what I went and did, I was like, why is the lawsuit in California when Tyler Perry Studios is in Georgia? I said, let me go look this up. So Tyler Perry Studios is registered in Georgia. Has been since 2006, probably before that, probably names have changed and things like that, where the principal office is located in Atlanta. So usually when a company or corporation is sued, typically or customarily, that lawsuit will happen in the jurisdiction where the corporation is either domiciled, operated, formed, or where the incident took place. So naturally, I'm like, it's supposed to be in Georgia. So I was like, let me look this up because I know there were co-mingling situations, and at some point, old buddy lived in California. Then he moved down to, no, he left Atlanta to move to California to allegedly get away, but he would have to come back to Atlanta. All them good things. So I was like, let me break this down for y'all. California applies because courts in California can exercise specific personal jurisdiction. And this is why. Whenever, even if there's an out-of-state defendant, they look at if the defendant has direct activities in California. We know that through the lawsuit, he stated that Tyler would come. He had business situations that would happen through business events out there. He has a property out there as well. Did the claims arise out of those activities? Is it reasonable to require that the defendant to litigate in California? In this case, Perry allegedly continued sexually harassing, conduct through texts and calls where Derek, the plaintiff, was living and working in California. So that is a way. Venue. The complainant filed in Los Angeles because he asserted that Perry and his companies conduct substantial business in California, which they will have to prove up. Because I can see Perry's lawyers filing a motion to change the jurisdiction. And we're going to go over why that could be a possibility and why they will want to move it to Atlanta, Georgia, over being in California. Because we already know Georgia is a red state, and California is a blue state. So if that's any indication, but we're going to get into it. Derek was a resident during these events, and also Perry resided in California during parts of the relevant time. Y'all get it? Okay, good. So let's go to the next one. California law is applied if California has a legitimate interest in applying its law. There is a true conflict with another state law. California interest would be impaired if its law is not applied. Because Derek was a California resident and harmed in California, the court can apply California law. What they are alleging is that the assault occurred in California, the defendant resided in California, and the plaintiff was harmed in California. That is going to be a big test. And I can guarantee you they're going to file a motion to have this case moved back to Georgia or in Georgia, because when you file a lawsuit, wherever the person wants to, based off of what favors them, they will file that lawsuit. So that is the reason why Derek and his legal team decided to file in California, because some of the allegations occurred in California. I think it's going to be a little difficult because the company is located in Georgia. He's saying this happened as an employee or a contract employee. He had to travel in order to get to get to Georgia to work. And in 2020, we know that they were isolated on Perry Studios because of the bubble. We also know that there was an incident in Bahamas. There were incidents in Georgia. The employment contract or the contract laws are subjected to Georgia, I can guarantee you his contract may have arbitration clause, as it should, as well as a possible jurisdiction requirement. That is very key. A really good contract or agreement is going to have the location that is favorable for the company who is getting you to sign it. It's very rare that an actor or actress is going to be able to pick the jurisdiction. So this may not be in California after all. And I'm just, even as I'm going through this with y'all, I am processing it and I'm like, yeah, I forgot there's always an arbitration or mediation clause in contracts related to this and entertainment, as well as a choice of law. This may have been a scheme Derek set up to get $260 million. Yeah. But let me keep going. So in the lawsuit, there are, hold on. There are 10 causes of actions. And a cause of action is just like, say in criminal, when they charge someone with a crime. That is the allegation, that is the information or the indictment. The crime that is based on the penal code. Where there is a civil code that also has the laws that if you violate, you can be sued for. So what he did was he stated, hold on 1 second. 1 second. Because I need to explain to y'all what quid pro quo is. Because y'all, listen, y'all need to get this tea. And especially if you are a business owner, this is very important. Because every state don't necessarily have it named as quid pro quo, but it may be a possible civil rights violation. Hold on, I gotta put the definition up here for y'all to see. So what is quid pro quo? Not quid pro ho, because we know we got some quid pro hoes. This is quid pro quo. Harassment. It simply means in an employment, it should be embedded inside certain state or federal laws. Let me just put that context out there. But in employment and sexual harassment law refers to a situation where job benefits are explicitly or implicitly conditioned on sexual favors. What that essentially means is unwelcome sexual advances, submissions, or as a basis of employment decisions, a tangible employment action like promotions, firing, casting, saying that, hey, if you don't do this, you don't get that. If you don't do that, you don't do this. If you don't give me that, I don't give you this. That's essentially what it means. Now, when we go into talking about the actual causes of action, So we went over quid pro quo, not quid pro quo. This prohibits harassment based on sex, including unwelcome sexual advances where employment benefits are conditioned on sexual conduct. Simply the same thing that I just stated. Hostile work environment harassment. He has alleged that a work environment that is premeditated. Hold on. A hostile work environment is a work environment that is, hold on, I can't see this. A hostile work environment is a work environment with discriminatory, intimidation, ridicule, and insults is actionable if it is severe or pervasive. One of his third causes of action, sexual harassment. In California, the Ralph Civil Rights Act. It covers sexual advances in professional relationships where one party has more power, provides for damages where harassment is severe or pervasive. Workplace gender violence. In California, it says it provides a private right of action for gender-motivated violence, including sexual assault or battery in the workplace. Cause of action, violation of the Ban Act. California has the Ban Act, just like the Mann Act, the Ban Act. It protects individuals from interference or attempted interference with their constitutional or statutory rights by threats, intimidation, or coercion. Sexual battery defines sexual battery as a non-consensual touching of intimate parts and allows for civil damages. Sexual assault provides for delayed discovery and this one I'm gonna talk about it. It provides for delayed discovery and statute of limitation extensions for civil sexual assault claims. So we know if the statute of limitation runs, this affords the ability on the civil side. If the statute of limitation runs on the criminal, this is afforded on the civil. You get more time because it's not considered is essay. Negligent retention, which is a common law claim where employers knew or should have known employee was unfit and retained them, leading to foreseeable harm. So I can anticipate they're saying that when Tyler offered him the role, he knew he did not have the experience from back then. But he was like, I see a fine little piece of white chocolate, and I'm in power, and I'm a billionaire. So yeah, probably so. Intentional infliction of emotional distress. Intentional infliction of emotional distress is going to be very hard. This is a high burden. You have to show that the behavior was so extreme and outrageous that it was intentional or reckless, causing severe emotional distress. Yeah, Derek, you ain't gonna get it on that one because what you have alleged without me seeing the actual evidence, what you have alleged don't rise to extreme or outrageous. I mean, I didn't see a suicide attempt. I didn't see you getting bankrupt. I didn't see a repossession. I didn't see nobody putting their hands on you. Nothing to that fact. I didn't see you lose a child. What I did see is you said your stomach was hurting, like you had to shit all the time. You ain't say that, but that's what that's what it looked like because you ain't giving us anything that is severe. No, fail. And people add intentional infliction of emotional distress. People like this individual, when they want to have a bite at the apple, a complete apple and not just a half an apple. Sometimes the half an apple is more than enough, but you got greedy people. 2024 was your last really encounter that we know of. Yeah. So the messages were flirtatious, suggestive messages, but there was no direct sexual threats. What is going on? What is it going to take for you for your guiltless sex? You're wasting your looks. These are not criminal. Could it be? I'm calling it adult banter. What do y'all think? What are y'all calling it? That's what it's giving. So I think based on the legal defense side, y'all, like I said, Derek showed up willingly, getting those raises, getting those opportunities, appeasing. He could have walked away. He could have walked away. He was a willing participant. He responded. He was a willing participant. He accepted gifts, trips, a car, a role. He never explicitly stated no to this conduct, i.e. text messages. He never stated this makes me uncomfortable. Even though a person should not have to state something that makes them uncomfortable, you should know, but it is your responsibility to also communicate. He didn't. He never said, this makes me uncomfortable. Or he never had a conversation. He just kept showing up and receiving. He never gave anything. Never. He never gave up the pussy. He used Perry's influence for a career gain. He did. His text back does suggest flirtation as well. It does not suggest coercion. That's why they want it in California, because it's more favorable. But baby, it's going to Georgia. Retaliation, which he alleges retaliation. I don't see it. Derek returned to set after alleged assaults. He never reported it. He accepted the $10,000 to $19,000 pay raise per episode. Gave Tyler plot rights for $1 million investment. Pilot rights for his $1 million investment in Losing It, his television project. So I strongly think that they're going to frame this as defense. We'll frame it as a career move, not coercion. I have to agree. Now, how does Christian Keys play a role in this? Well, Christian Keys, like we said, like I looked like I was caught in like a deer in the headlights to see his name in that lawsuit. Christian Keys shared an anonymous Hollywood abuse story in 2023, December of 2023. I watched it. The whole world pretty much watched it. And we watched him gaslight us after and then tell us what had happened. Because what had happened is what had paid. That's what it's given. He never named Perry, but fans drew parallels. That's why I am even curious as to why and how the plaintiffs put Perry's name in there. I mean, Christian Keys' interview in there when they can't properly put it in there. Like they can't connect the dots. But if he called to testify, he could, support a pattern. Now I'm gonna tell you like this. Y'all like, oh, well, what if he signed the NDA? Does not protect criminal activity. So technically Christian could, testify. And speaking of Christian, let's add Christian to the chat. Let me refresh y'all's memory because I went and pulled the key things from it. And I want y'all to put in the chat what y'all think. What do y'all think about these clips? Who do y'all think he's talking about? What is he saying to us? That's what I want to know when I put this in the chat.
I've kept one of these on me since 05. Whether it's a keychain or a pen, because most so it's gonna have to come out. I've kept one of these on me since 05. Whether it's a keychain recorder or a pen, because most predators would check your phone. And once the sexual harassment started, I was like, well, I gotta protect me, because I'm saying no, and I don't want this person, as powerful as they are, to try to get in the way of my work. So I started recording. So I have them offering me money to take my clothes off. I have recordings when I wasn't working with them or for them. I have recordings of them confessing that, the other guys that they have on the payroll, all of the above. And the difference is, the wonderful thing about confidentiality agreements and non-disclosure agreements is that they can't prevent you from turning all of those things over to the police, because sexual harassment is a crime. Attempted sexual assault is a felony. And Tams, you literally just asked, why do we as Black people have to deal with that? But sometimes it's our own people. Sometimes it's our own heroes. The good news is that they don't even have to believe me. Hopefully they would, but even if they don't, they can hear this person. Since sexual harassment started, I've carried many recorder devices on me, keychains, pens, thumb drives with a charged battery that get 6, 7, 8 hours, all the above. So I have the conversations. I really want to air that shit out, because it bothers me when I'm alone at night. Like, man, the world is celebrating this person and they don't even know the shady and predatory way in which this person moves, and the way that, predators resent the prey that gets away. So when you don't say yes, when you don't say, okay, I'll acquiesce and, sign up and literally and figuratively play ball, because if we're not doing that, they resent you. I'm good. God got me, because he was watching when I was offered these opportunities and I didn't say yes. I didn't sell my soul or my ass. Excuse my French, y'all. I know some of y'all, hopefully y'all have no kids around, but I didn't sell nothing for success. It's like, nah, that's not what I want. I ain't into that. I ain't into dudes. I got an only beard in the bed policy. Mine is the only beard in the bed. Yeah, we ain't doing none of that. I don't get out like that. And these people kept on for years. Sexual harassment is a crime. Attempted sexual assault is a felony. And I have proof. It's not like I'm just making false accusations. I intentionally let the statute of limitations expire. It's not about money, but I'm gonna have to take the receipts, the recordings down to the police department and let them hear this individual. I wasn't working for him in the month and the year that he showed up to my apartment and offered me $100,000 to take my clothes off. He said, I don't even need to touch you. I just want to see you naked. I declined, because again, scenic route. I got my integrity with me. I'll take the long way around. But being that I wasn't working with him and we were in my apartment, he had visited my apartment to offer me a job of this fall, because the lead of this particular project was going to do something else, so he needed another lead. I recorded it because I didn't trust him, and I told him, over and over. And he still always tried shit. Just tried shit. So if people don't believe me, they can hear him in his voice. I have always kept something on me. Always. Even if my phone is off. Something else is, if I'm around somebody that has tried to sexually harass me, pressure me, intimidate me into some nonsense, I've always kept something on me so I can protect myself, because if they're that powerful and they feel that entitled, then they can also try to get in the way of your work. Oh no, I got backups for the backups for the backups for the backups. I've watched way too many Jason Bourne movies not to have 15 backups. I can press play and you can hear the person and you'll know immediately who the person is that's offering me $100,000 to strip. You'll know right away, and it'll break your heart. I won't have to say the person's name, but I can and I will. I don't mind doing a polygraph or 3 or 5 on live TV, and I'll pass all of them because it's the truth. And some of the people that you think are your mentors are literally and figuratively just trying to fuck you. I have documentation from the dealership for the car that they tried to buy as an apology for offering me $100,000 to strip. It's time, but you are not allowed to touch somebody without their permission. Not allowed to try to touch them in a sexual or private place without their permission. And if they've already declared, like, hey, bruh, I get that that's your thing, but I like black women and Hennessy, and so miss me with the bullshit, because I'm never going to be open to that. I'm never going to swing at that pitch. Like I'm batting for this team over here. God made ovaries and fallopian tubes and vagina, labia majora, labia minora, uterus. This is wonderful over here. So I'm going to stay over here, like, chill. And then this person still tries to grab you, physically grab you. Cassie speaking out has reminded me about not just me, because it was brutal going through it, because it lasted for years, but her speaking out. People need to know. It's never been about money. I literally intentionally let the statute of limitations pass. It's not about money or being able to sue, but at some point, really soon, the police report is going to be filed, and I'll turn over the recordings of the inappropriate behaviors and the inappropriate offers, and I'll turn over the paperwork for the car that was bought as an apology for offering me $100,000 to take my clothes off. And y'all can hear him. His voice is very distinctive. And I want to empty. I'm tired of carrying this shit. The timestamped recording of him offering me $100,000 to take my clothes off. He said, I don't have to touch you. I just want to see you naked. I'm like, what the fuck? What? Like, you know, I'm not into that. I don't fuck around like that. I don't do that. What the fuck? What? Leave. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. You pretending to be a mentor, trying to get some ass. That'll never happen. I don't bat for that team. Yeah, but I gotta get off of here and talk to my brother, because I'm so fucking close to just airing everything out. I'm just dumping everything online in the morning. I'm tired, man. I'm not forgiving myself. I didn't do anything wrong. I wasn't brave enough back then, because somebody said, forgive yourself. KG, it's heavy on my heart, man, and I'm tired. And we around here deifying people that go out and do this, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna pay off this, and I'm gonna pay off that, and I'm gonna pay off that. But at the same time, these same people are predators. I'm not blaming myself for saying no. I'm not blaming myself for almost quitting acting. I'm just mad at me for not being brave enough to say something sooner. That's the only thing that I regret. I wish I'd have been brave enough. I'm him now. I know who I am. I know who God built me to be. And I'm not afraid of those consequences. My concern is that a lot of y'all are going to be like, man. And your immediate reaction is going to be like, oh, well, we got to protect our deity. We got to protect. You got a grown-ass man that knows that you're heterosexual and you're sleeping off Hennessy in his guest room. Because he says it's safe. Because I know I'm bent, so I'm after a big party. Won't say what type, won't say where. I'm asleep. I'm gone because I'm 4-5 Hennessy's deep and not short Hennessy's either. And this dude tries to climb into bed with you. So you spaz out, push him out, like, what the fuck? Get ready to leave. He apologizes, blame it on the alcohol. And you try to forgive him. So you're like, all right, man. All right, I'm gone. You shake his hand on the way out, and he tries to grab your penis. He tries to shake and grab your equipment. And you spaz even more. Like, what the fuck you doing, man? What the fuck? Oh, my bad. So you go to leave, he tries to do it again. Now, at that point, my only regret is not breaking multiple bones in this person's face. Like beating the dog shit out of this person, right? Because that's available to me at all times. That in a grizzly bear is always available, but in the moment, I'm like, what the fuck? But you got a guy that's a billionaire, and I got $3 grand in my bank account. Who they gonna believe, right? How many young black actors have fell for that? How many of them, and you can hear him say it on you can hear him on the conversations. You can hear him on the conversations. You can hear him say that he has several guys, multiple guys on payroll, 6 figures a year, that pop up and they do whatever he wants and they go back home. So they pop in, they grab their ankles, they do whatever he wants. And I'm like, I'm not finna fucking do that. I'm not doing that. You can hear the recordings yourself. Person has a very distinctive voice when they offer me $100 grand to take my clothes off. Person has a very distinctive voice when they literally sexually assault me and try to grab my private parts, and I'm blocking their hand like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, oh, my bad, and tries to do it again. Some of these people are y'all heroes. Some of these people y'all have deified and set up on a stool or on a stoop. But I promise you this, I will promise you this, as an executive on the show, I'm grateful for this person for showing me how not to be. You tell a grown man I'm not into guys, and he tries to grab your private parts, not once but twice, after trying to climb into bed with you. That is the legal definition of sexual assault. Is this another one of those meetings where you meet with a black billionaire businessman, and while my manager is there, everything is everything. I got my Kinko's presentation with the plastic cover on it. I paid good money on it. It's like good money. I'm running it down like you can invest in this, that, and the other. So when my manager leaves, he moves into a conference room. And I'm like, okay, it's a conference room. Nothing sketchy about this. Didn't realize that the doors on the side of the conference room right there led into his suite. So about 8 or 10 minutes, I'm nervous in my phone. I'm like, okay, what the fuck? Okay, you changing? You got to use the bathroom. Is it number 2? Cool. He comes back in silk pajamas, silk robe, right as they're delivering strawberries and champagne like this is Pretty Woman or a fucking date. Now, I'm like, wait, whoa, this ain't that. I'm not him, and this ain't that. I'd love for you to invest in my company. He probably should have, because he would own a piece of All the Queen's Men. The books I've already sold, the 6 or 8 books I'm about to release, all of that. He would have had a piece of all of that monetarily, but he didn't. He was thinking with his dick. And yeah, he came back in, grabbed a strawberry, sat down, and I was like, yeah, I'm leaving. You got my presentation, I'm going. He's like, are you sure? I said, yeah. Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure. He's like, are you sure? That second, are you sure, means if you don't stay and do what I want, you're not going to get what you're hoping for. Now, this particular guy is out here paying tuition for entire classes of HBCUs after this sketchy shit. Want to air him out too.
I've been mute this whole time. Now, when we talk about Christian Keys, he just went over a slew of details regarding him and this anonymous individual who is a Black billionaire in the entertainment space, television space. We only can equate that to one person. He talked about how this individual came to his place, his apartment, offered him $100,000 to see his body. He was like, He said he liked his women like he liked his Hennessy, that color. And it's only one beard in his bed, and that's his. He talked about his experience when he got a little too Henny, and blamed it on the alcohol, like Tyler Perry did, allegedly. But he didn't say his name. I'm just alleging. Then apologized. Then he did it again in his office, trying to get him some strawberry and champagne. So my only thing is, it looks very similar to the civil suit that Derek has filed, and I can only assume that he may have utilized the description and the details of Christian Keys to make it similar to his. That's all that's what I think. I think that's what happened. But as it comes out even more, we will figure it out. But the getting in the bed, like those details, it's just giving me white tears. White tears. So for me, it's kind of sketch. It's giving sketch. It's giving sketch. Now, also some of my issue is that he delayed to file a lawsuit. He waited to see if Perry was going to get his show on TV. Perry actually lived up to his promise. It didn't yield what he thought the final result was going to be, but baby, you didn't give him that bus. You would have gave him that bus. Probably, I'm just playing, y'all. Do not take me serious here. But you didn't give up anything for that person to give you anything. You gave a text message response, and you were flirting in those text messages. Those text messages can be seen as banter. It was very vanilla. Was it something that I would do? No, but it ain't my business. And I do not think a jury would look at that and say it rises to that level. I don't. You got to give us more, Dixon. You got to give us more. More. This ain't giving. It's giving disgruntled former employee. That's what it's giving. $260 million. Be for real. Extortion. In order to get extorted, you have to give up something, and it has to be known. The text messages does not give extortion. The behavior between the two does not give extortion. No. No. This is not harassment. This is white tears. Until I see more, it's not giving. The text messages are not giving. The Christians will definitely not testify. At this moment, I'm not finding him liable. with what I have now, I'm not finding him liable. But y'all know how I am. I'm very open to explore and expand and change positions as more comes out. But there is a pandemic of successful Black men that get sued by people that don't look like us. But I want y'all to decide, put in the chat, do you think, based off of what we have and what we went over, if Tyler should be found liable or not liable? I will tell you, like I said, this case is not going to trial. This was a publicity stunt. This was for the public opinion. This was to smear his name, whether there's any truth to it or not. There's always an arbitration clause as well as a or mediation, and the choice of law is always going to be where the employer or contractor is located. He playing in y'all face. He's playing in the faces of the world. You ain't getting no money. You ain't getting no money. Now back to normal. If you're new here, and if you're not, I have written my own first memoir, Shut Up and Prosecute. It is a book that I wrote to give an inside view that, in my opinion, has never been done before of what the reality of a Black prosecutor in the criminal justice system, i.e. the district attorney's office, their experience look like. Yeah, good, bad, ugly, all of the things. Names are named. People are called out. It's time for us to stop protecting. So I lay it all out on the table, and this is just the first installment. I have a part 2, as well as a documentary that will be released later this year. I'm proud of this book. I'm proud of the individuals who have supported me. I thank you if you are on this platform and you purchase Shut Up and Prosecute, not only for yourself or for someone else. And if you haven't and you want to take a read, go to Amazon and support your girl. And like always, y'all, you know where to follow me on my social media handles. You know where to go on Instagram and fan base, Lori Bay ESQ. On YouTube, The Public Opinion Court. Please go and subscribe, like my girl Jessie Wu says. Also, my TikTok is the Public Opinion Court, but it's changing to Public Opinion Court. You'll still be able to find it, but go and follow it now so you can be able to find it faster. And of course, y'all have given your girl some copy money at JUSTIC, babe, because y'all know I'm a former municipal court judge. All the things. And listen, I thank y'all for joining me on this Juneteenth as we break down a unfortunate lawsuit against Tyler Perry. And I say unfortunate because this is another powerful Black man that has found himself being sued. I just pray that Black men start to protect themselves and stop getting so comfortable in rooms that were never meant for you to be in just because you built that room. Point blank in the period. And that's all I have to say. Thank you. No. Thank you for joining. I will see you all on the other side, which is the Diddy side, because we should be back tomorrow. Tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow. It's only a day away. Y'all have a good evening. Thank you for joining the Public Opinion Court, where the truth ain't reality. but opinions are. Good evening, good night, good night, good night.